You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
This makes my nipples hard.
Hi there, and thanks for listening. Today I am here with Paul, and we are chatting about our favorite game environments. Paul messaged me before the show and said, hey, wait, do we mean like a whole game where we like the environments, or do we mean individual environments within the game? The answer is individual environments within the game. One of us may have done our homework. I'm curious to see what you've come up with. Hey, Paul.
It's not bad for like 17 minutes. What I slapped together here, yeah, it's really it's gonna be surprisingly competent. You'll see. Yeah, no, this was fun because we woke up today doing an episode on music, which we'll be doing soon, and I was like, I'm not ready, and here's another idea, and then after I give it to Anna, I'm like, how are we even gonna do this idea now? Because I didn't clarify that. Like, okay, so the idea is top 10 locations, right? Environments, locations in an adventure game. And it's like, is that like a specific little place in the game, or can it just be the whole game? And anyway, we will get there.
So pretty much I have stuck within the adventure game genre. There are some beautiful environments in so many games. I couldn't stop having a look from screen to screen. I want to say a big shout out to Rudy of Sierra Chest. You have the best screenshot collections out there. Good sir, I really, really super appreciate your help on this, and I can't even imagine how many other episodes.
Well, I would like to shout out to the Sierra wallpaper people, because I think they have really good screenshots. So now we have a little friendly competition here.
Oh, lovely. The screenshot duel.
Yeah, exactly. Between actually, Sierra wallpaper is down.
Oh, yeah. I think I haven't seen them up in a while.
This just in, see? Okay, well, whatever. We're gonna talk about our favorite locations because I think that's essentially, I think that's what like the spirit of adventure games in a sense is like is the feeling of stepping into the world and being part of like this interactive narrative novel, book, movie, whatever you want to kind of call it, sort of feel like. I guess the adventure game's superpower is its ability to transport you into the world, but not in like a poetic, romanticized way that you might say happens when you're enmeshed in a great book. It's like you literally are in the world though, and you get to walk around it and click on it and stuff. So I think that's my favorite part of adventure games. It's like the environment and walking around it and exploring it. So we're going to explore the top 10 environments in adventure games. And we're going to start with number 10, and Anna's going to go first.
I knew this was going to be a fun episode because I started getting really excited, and I ended up finding more than 10, and I ended up with this giant list of runners-ups, and I was just like, oh man, this is actually pretty cool stuff. But my number 10 is the Leisure Suit Larry 3 behind the scenes when Larry and Patty end up on the set for Police Quest 1. They're in Sierra Studios. There's like cameras filming. They're doing, I think there was like a driving scene going on for a sequence in the game. There was a tombstone, and it was for the remains from King's Quest 4 programming staff. In the picture here, there's a taxi cab from Leisure Suit Larry 1, Manhunter suits, targets from Police Quest 2, and the insurance salesman from Space Quest 2. And the whole set for Space Quest 2 is all in there. And then Larry and Patty, oh gosh, should I have said at the beginning, there might be some spoilers in this episode, by the way, like massively, because these scenes are random. But at the end of the game, there's Rosella, and she's climbing up the whale tongue. So it's like this whole background. I think there's even the Black Cauldrons reference. There's the M from Mollenlithberger in Space Quest 3. And then Chairman Kenneth of Natives Incorporated, he was formerly Chief Kenawatuwau in Leisure Suit Larry 2. Larry's dad-in-law is a cameo of Ken Williams at the end of that as well, obviously.
Right, obviously. There's you flexing your research muscles on me. I get it. All right. You're coming with facts. That's fair.
And pictures. I'm looking at screenshots. Thanks again, Rudy.
That moment... that moment in that game is like, it's the equivalent to like seeing the Warner Brothers lot in Tiny Toons. Is that what that was called? Tiny.
Yeah, in Animaniacs.
Animaniacs. Thank you.
Just
right.
for fun, they run around the Warner movie lot.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's like this little nod, this background, but it's even more personal because, like, you know, it's like it was our little world growing up, and it was almost like a more private whisper, like a little present to us. Like, you know, you're the one that knows these games, and like especially going to school and all the other kids had consoles and didn't understand the worlds that we were diving into when we went home. And it's like, yeah, Sarah did this really cool moment where it all came together, and you're like, I know him and I know Larry, and oh my God, that's what the set looks like. And yeah, that's a really good shout. Good.
It felt good. And Roberta Williams was there. She's like directing for Rosella. Like you could imagine. I love how it took you and put you in there. Like you could imagine they're filming a big video set, even though everything is just in pixels. It becomes meta real in that moment.
Incredibly meta. Yeah.
Okay, what's your number 10? Is it that cool?
No, not at all. I don't like my number 10. It's interesting because I had a hard time feeling satisfied with my list because I don't know. I don't really know why, I guess, because there's just so many really, really good options that I kept looking at my list thinking I could do better than what I've done here. But I actually don't think I could. Anyway, all right, yeah. So, and the reason I'm iffy about my number 10 is because, like you said, I also have a bunch of honorable mentions.
Yeah,
and I'm not
I've switched
really...
mine out like 4 times when I was putting it together. My honorable mentions became it's a thing, man. This is art.
Right, exactly. And so my number 10 feels dodgy because it could have easily been like 4 other choices. But I picked. Well, my initial answer here is Los Angeles from Blade Runner. But if we were to go a little more specific, I would say the Yukon Hotel. And this one also feels a little cheap too because it's identical to the movie, but therein lies the attraction where it's like, you know, one of probably my favorite movie of all time, and I got to walk around it, like exactly it, which is, you know, a really nice treat that I actually got to do twice because I'd say my second favorite movie was Last Crusade, and that, you know, I got to do that too in an adventure game. And that is one of the honorable mentions done out of the way. Barnett College, specifically, if I had to pick a place, because, I mean, in his office and everybody's banging on the door and whatever. But anyway, back to the Blade Runner one. It's the Yukon Hotel is where Sebastian lives with his strange, like, you know, toy-like prototypes, his little artificial companions, because he was the genetic designer for the replicants. And in the movie and in the game, I really, really like the hotel because it's like this. It's just everything that Blade Runner is. It's like this crumbling building, and it's like very dystopian in vibe. It's got dramatic light coming through, and it's like this. I don't know. It feels like a forgotten dollhouse.
Well put.
Thank you. In this like decaying future, and it's just like it's everything about cyberpunk and dystopian landscapes that I want to explore, like to walk through this creepy abandoned hotel that's inhabited by like, I don't know, prototype replicants, like I don't know, actually I don't know how to better articulate that, but anyway, I would like to walk around there.
That would be a trip, for sure. Well, you know, I would like to drive around the Police Quest 1 map. I love that map. I have that map. It's in the big box. And I think it's really, really interesting. It's kind of like a grid-style overhead map, and you're driving a patrol car, and it's top-down. And each of the little screens are considered rooms if you're making it up, because it's like an AGI game, right?
Yeah.
So each street segment is one room, and then your driving transitions between rooms. It's neat how it's all set up. Like you can actually drive underneath the freeway. AGI itself, it had a really limited memory, a really limited scripting. This was broken up because otherwise it couldn't handle it. If it had to handle the whole map at once, it wouldn't be able to do it. I don't know if you know the exact size of this game, but it was very, very small. It would fit onto one floppy disk. Like there's not really much of anything to this. So repeating blocks, there's a lot of straight roads. It's the intersections are super simple, and it's just you know you can go somewhere because it'll have like this really certain kind of driveway too. Like once you get to know the map, you don't need to look anything up. You can just go places on it. You know where you need to go. It was my first ever driving game, and it really set me up for the rest of my life enjoying games like that, driving games. It also set me up for learning maps. So it was a big freaking deal.
It's a great choice. It was one of my honorable mentions too. And
nice.
In another, I don't know, if we were recording this like next Sunday, it could have well been like my number 3 choice.
Fair.
But the reason I didn't put it in there is because at the last second I was like, but I really like Police Quest 2 also. Because it's that same, like my overall choice here I guess would have been Lytton or Lighton. Because you get to, I've said it in like every interview I've ever done about Phantom Falls, why I did a travel map, but it's like, you get to drive around and you have the autonomy to choose where you want to go. And like if you pull up next to the diner and you get out of the car, there's a diner. And you go in there and say hi to Carol. And it's like it just creates this cool open world sort of feeling. And yeah, I really like Lighton because of that. But then I started thinking how I particularly liked the park, let's say, in Police Quest 2, and the ability to go diving into the lake and explore the lake as well and find a dead body. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to put both, so I'll put neither.
I was going to put the underwater scene of Police Quest 2 on my list, and it just didn't make it. It's
Nice.
also Lytton.
Is it? Okay, thank you.
No problem. We have one here. It burnt to the ground, the whole city, unfortunately, in one of the crazy wildfires. But yes, that was one of ours. It was, up until a few years ago.
Dang, okay. Sorry to hear about your Lytton.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So what was your number 9?
My number 9, man, I'm surprising myself with this, even though I just made the list like an hour ago. But like, yeah, the mansion in Phantasmagoria.
Ooh, good choice.
Grazie.
That's such a cool mansion too. There's so much going on. It's huge.
It is. It's the perfect embodiment of like a Victorian style. I guess. I don't know how Victorian it really is. Less the more I think about it. But whatever. It's right. Eras are difficult to nail down. It's a big, creepy mansion with hidden passages.
Gothic-y, kind of. I don't know. It's not even really that gothic, is it? What is that mansion? It's very mansional.
It is. It's very vaguely mansional.
Yeah.
But it's got hidden passages, is the thing.
Right.
That's, you got your hidden passages, your disturbing visions, your slow realization that the house itself might be the nightmare. It's got it all. It's like, and it's owned by a magician, and they're wily characters, they're squirrely. You never know when they got a good hidden trap door, especially a murderous magician. So there's like, a murderous magician builds like this M.C. Escher style home in that it has hidden passages and leads to inexplicable places and comes loaded with intense hallucinogenic flashbacks and things like that. I mean, it's a good time. It's everything you want in a giant mansion in an adventure game. Which is why it'd be another honorable mention of mine, which would be the haunted house in King's Quest 4.
Right, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so that's my...
I might move out of my list now because you just talked about it.
Oh,
no,
shit, should
okay.
I stop?
No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. We're fine. I'm going to go, my number 8 is the messy cab in Laura Bow 2. I love that silly little scene because it changes the cab. Like, you don't even, like, at first, perhaps the people that are less astute wouldn't realize because you're not just looking for an item, you actually get to move the pieces of junk around. Now, you instituted an idea like that in the glove box in the Phantom Fellows, where you got to pick up all this bric-a-brac bits and pieces to try to get your notebook out of there, and I always thought that was kind of cool because I like that effect.
What did you say, bric-a-brac?
Yeah.
Is that yours or Canadian or what?
I think it's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bric-a-brac.
I don't know whose it is, but it's a thing.
Very cool. Okay,
Yeah.
This is a very hyper-specific choice, by the way. Let's just appreciate that. And then, like, in the cab inside of it's interesting because it's static.
It is just static, and I love in all the cab rides, I love how they made her dress sit. Like the positioning of it, the way that it drapes her arms and her back. She has her hair up. The taxi driver, which is Josh Mandel. If you were listening to our episode about this with One Short Eye, we were curious if it was Josh Mandel. It turns out it is because he said it was on some online stream somewhere.
Yeah. I knew it was because he's a Jew and he sounds like Bernie Sanders in it. So I was like,
Right.
it just has to be the Jewish guy.
Clearly.
But he didn't remember doing it. Like we had asked years ago, and he came back like inconclusive. He's like, I don't remember. But then I guess he remembered.
He did remember eventually.
Or he
later.
just humored Anna because she'd been asking for years.
Messy cab. Fine, it was me.
Yeah,
Jesus, I was the cab driver. Okay.
Oy vey, more like yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was much better, much more authentic. All right, what's your number 8?
Especially because it replaced Jesus. You see, so
Obviously.
okay, my number whatever is we're on number 8, right?
We are, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Counting numbers is hard.
We've had trouble with it in the past.
Yeah, we have. Man, I'd like to think I've grown and matured since then. That was a long 3 weeks ago. You know, I really turned a page in my ability to count to 10. Combed over some reruns of Sesame Street. I think I got it locked down. All right, my number 8 is the alien planet in The Dig.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
11, 12.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
very, very smooth. The alien planet in The Dig is my thing. I really like The Dig. I like the environment of The Dig the most.
It's beautiful.
It's really good storytelling, but it's also just like it I don't know. It's. I guess there's a theme here where I really like abandoned places, and there's something just creepy. You don't know exactly. I don't know. It's not overtly creepy though. There's something enchanting about it as well, like welcoming, and maybe even in like a temptress sort of way, like luring you forward, because there's beauty and this kind of ethereal, I don't know, cathedral-like beauty to the landscape. What else would I say about it? You get to circumambulate your way through.
That's a random word to choose.
Yeah, I was going to say wander, but you're more... Circumambulation. Yeah, you're more making your way strategically through to the center of the mystery in The Dig. So let's go with just a big come fuck me word. And
that's what they were listening to, waiting for our listeners. Yeah. There it is. How long did it take him to get to a sexual reference? Well, almost 20 minutes, folks. That's
not bad, honestly.
That's not bad at all. I'm impressed.
That's all. I think that's all I have to say. The dig is a fun time. I should have stopped a second ago. Okay.
Yeah, that's the end of that.
That added nothing of kind. Yeah, all right.
The scene where Freddie Farkas is filling out prescriptions when you first get there, and so you find out like it's provided only for entertainment and clues for Freddie Farkas. They say so right in the book because they made every single one of the you get to mix these prescriptions. And you get to balance them, use a graduated cylinder. There was a beaker. You can stir things with a little glass rod. And there was a pill machine where you could make tablets. And really, the whole thing was an elaborate copy protection for Freddie Farkas, frontier pharmacist. But to me, being the kind of kid who always wanted to be a pharmacist and loved mixing different chemicals together and would, try to make the strongest bubble soap all the time and make a big mess of things. This was just the coolest thing ever. So, and I love just the way that it was presented, like the way that they laid it out and how natural they made it. Even if you'd never come across a puzzle like this in your life, you are able to figure it out with your instruction manual. Yeah,
that makes me realize that I was too zoomed out when I made my choices, because you're quite zoomed in, and I like your choices better. You're like the, because I looked at Freddie. I was looking at the box and trying to shoehorn it in or really consider it. I'm like, like I was looking at the pharmacy building. As close in as I got in my resolution of it. I was like,
I do have a runner-up. The restaurant scene, and the reason I picked that is the way that they have the corn, the beans, the sunflowers, and the glass jar of the marinating tomatoes.
So good.
I love that whole scene. And in Freddie Farkas, you can interact with those bloody things at the very front of the scene that's framing it. And that just absolutely kills me. I think it didn't make it onto my list, but it darn well could have.
Again, hyper zoomed in for the better. Right, that glass jar scene specifically, it's always kind of mind-boggling how they pulled that off animation-wise. And Right, and more so to your point with the making the drugs, which is one of my favorite parts of any game ever. It's so damn satisfying, and I actually refuse to believe that it's copy protection. Now, I get why you said it, because that is on the record what it is, but I don't know. I would almost feel like if we really grilled Mandel or Allo about this, it'd be like maybe it started out as that, or maybe it just also served as good copyright protection, but it's like it's not copyright protection in the sense that it's like yeah, you need an external source to solve it, but does that mean it's copyright protection necessarily?
Because there is no other copyright protection, and every game in that era included copyright protection. The answer would be yes.
Yeah, like I see how it technically is, but I just think it's way too complex and in depth.
Put so much into it. Like pick the fourth word in the fourth paragraph on the 37th page. It's like no, this is a little bit more than that.
Right. It's too engaging. It's too much fun. Okay, well, my number 7 is I'm zoomed in a little more than the entire planet in the dig. The garbage freighter from Space Quest 3.
Nice. I was wondering when Space Quest was going to enter the ring.
Right. Yes, it's arrived. It's so whimsical. It does such a good job of making it feel alien and familiar at the same time, and I love a good contrast like that. You know, excited and comfortable, things like this. It's so engaging, and yeah. So there's giant. What would you say? Tinker toys, I think they were called.
Tinker toys, yeah.
And like a giant, I don't know, almost transformer-looking helmet. Like it's familiar, but it's alien because like why is it gigantic like that? It almost implies giants, or that we live in, or that there are giant Transformer-sized robots in this world, or why are the Tinker toys so big? I don't know. Like it's familiar but alien, and it's one of the best environments to walk around and just explore and type look at and see what you get. And yeah, I mean, essentially it's a an alien landfill on a spaceship. So like a garbage freighter. It goes around to space and collects garbage. Roger gets collected as garbage and comes to inside of it. And, you know, basically you're walking around, you know, a landfill, but of alien scraps. And that's, you know.
So, and you took that to heart, I think. And one day in the future, people might know what I'm saying that about.
Including me, yeah.
I meant in potentially other game ideas.
Right.
Alien junk and alien bric-a-brac. And
I knew I was supposed to, right, because, yeah. Very good. You're several steps ahead of me in a few different ways today. Well done.
But yeah, no, I love alien bric-a-brac. I'm going to use the word again. Oh, it's such a fun word.
Yeah, I think it was, okay. What's your number 6?
The Garden in King's Quest VI. I love it. I love the garden. I love a few different aspects. I love the fact that it has 2 different names. So in the King's Quest VI hint book, it's called The Gardens. But in the King's Quest Companion 3rd edition, yes, I might happen to have that, they actually call it the Pun Garden. And it's pretty obvious why, because all of the names are some terrible version of a pun or another. You have baby's tears while they're crying, wallflowers while they're shy, and the sour grapes, well, you can imagine, sour, and the frozen iceberg lettuce, they're obviously frozen. You've got crab apples, and they're crabby. The buttercups and the snapping snapdragons, they snap. Your rotten tomatoes, who's obviously super duper grumpy. And then at some point, you can also put a hole on the wall, and you can see into the chessboard, which is the next room, because you're near to the gates of Chessboard Land on the Isle of Wonder. And it's just, there's so many cool graphics and dynamics that the scene always stuck with me after playing the game for the first time and never really left my head.
Okay, well, instead of commenting more on what you just picked, I would like to talk more about bric-a-brac, because while you were talking about King's Quest VI with the puns and the baby's tears, I was looking up bric-a-brac, and it, first of all, when I started to type it, I knew not to put a K in the word, which means like on some weird subconscious level, I guess I'd seen this before.
You did, man.
I accused you earlier of it being a Canadian term, and it's not. But what it is a French term. which,
Yeah.
I
That's
bet you.
because Canada, French, that makes
I
sense.
bet you
Le
that it's
bric-a-brac.
more used in Canada because
Yeah.
of your French connection and your labels.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, funny. I always think of that. I go to antique stores and things and I say, look at all that bric-a-brac. I always say that.
Right. And in foreclosure, for everybody listening, 16th century French phrase that means at random or haphazardly.
Yes, very much so. There are some like that here. So what is your number 6, sir?
My number 6 is Helen's Orphanage from Sanitarium.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. I was proud of this one. That was the payoff. I was hoping for that.
I have a Sanitarium one, but it ended up moving from my list into my special mentions. So
Which one? I got it.
the Fun House.
Oh, right. Very, very
Specifically, I have it in my picture here. I liked the scene where there's that house and it has the spirals for eyes and the teeth for a mouth and it says enter and it has the clown in front and he's like, you must be this high to enter this house. And then there's like a giant clown thing sitting on the top of the house and it's just so freaking freaky.
It is. Isn't that circus like on the ocean, like on a dock?
It's like, yeah, it's swampy,
There's water right there. Yeah, just it really adds to the creepiness.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything you can imagine is dripping and humid and slightly
Right.
moist at all, not damp, moist at all times.
Right. Yeah, really good shot. I went with Helen's Orphanage because it's like this, I don't know, like a rotten storybook,
Yeah.
like a
That's such a good one too.
like a fairy tale that's diseased, where there's like mutated children wandering around, and they've all pledged their servitude and subordination to this mother. Yeah, to this.
Their faces are so scary, and their voices are so well done too. It's such an amazing level. It sticks with the person forever, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, Helen's like the overarching Oedipal mother in a sense,
Yeah.
and they're all mutated orphans, and they won't, they're at a condition, like they're scared to talk about her. You're not allowed to bring her up. Like it puts them into distress. And then there's the cool, barn with the pumpkin patch and things like this.
Oh,
So yeah.
Freaking the pumpkin patch is cool. The exposing of mother is cool. Everything about that is so visceral.
Yes. Yeah. It's super dark because the kids are in pretty bad shape. So it's proper.
You know what
edgy.
I didn't vote for was anything on the Aztec level of this game.
Right. Am I right? Or the fucking insect one.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that, my next choice is Toonstruck. But when you end up with the Malevolence on the second half of the game and everything's got like absolutely dark, and then you've got the Wheel of Love with the cow wearing leather on it. The utter
Yes.
depravity of the barn now, all so that I could
Right.
say that essentially. But there was a lot of whipping leather and BDSM, and Elmer's gone, and there's a glue machine churning out a new product because Elmer was the horse, and you just realize, oh no, they really do make horses into glue. And yeah, it was pretty intense. Just when you walk into that scene, like literally the cow has piercings and he's hanging with his arms up and his legs down and all kind of his udders are exposed, but one of the chains goes from his nose to the udders. It's really utterly unusual and such a change because the first half of the game is meant to be ultra cute. And so when that shift happens, the whole game just gets flipped on its head.
Yeah, you gotta love some udder clamps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
utterly.
a good bovine flogging.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just making that milk run.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that's great. Good shout, man. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
What's your number 5?
You're winning this episode.
We'll ask anybody could write to us and let us know. Oh, I asked you that question. Oh, I'll ask you it later. It has nothing to do with this episode.
Okay. I mean, I'm up for it, but all right.
Well, I was trying. Remember, I mentioned about a Discord for people that were in the Patreon, and if you thought that was a good idea, and I wasn't sure, but I wondered, does anybody think that's a good idea? Hey, if you subscribe to Patreon and you actually also listen to the show for some reason, do you want that? Do you care about that?
Yeah.
Just asking.
This
You
was
might even get access to Paul. He's the harder one to get a hold of.
that was an appropriate question to ask. Yeah. For the
Yeah.
good. Put it on them.
Yeah, if we don't hear
what do you
anything,
want?
we assume nobody's interested and we just carry on with our lives and we don't even need to think about it anymore. Like, problem solved.
Yeah, if we hear from more than 1.5 of you,
Yeah.
it'll
should
become
put
a
it together.
conversation.
And maybe if the 1.5 of you are good at putting together discords, that would help. Just saying.
How would it be 1.5? I guess that would be like a pregnant girl.
Yeah. Or somebody with their child.
Okay, we're at number 5. I picked
Yeah.
St. George's Bookshop.
Nice.
'Cause it's
Very
so
cluttered
cozy.
bookshop. So cozy. Just so much going on. I want to sit in there and read.
Exactly. It's just this cozy bookstore with the right amount of dust going through the beams of light coming through the window, and it's full of old books and creaking shelves, and I don't know. It's a perfect place to start a journey through, history and voodoo and destiny. And he lives in his bookshop, and for some reason I've always there's something just so romantic about that idea to me of like going to sleep above your business, or I mean, it doesn't have to be like above it, but you know what I mean? Like oftentimes, like, the shop's below where your house is, and I like how Gabe like just kind of wakes up and then goes into his shop and is there already, because that's how geography works. But anyway, the point being is that it's a really cozy little bookshop, and it feels, I don't know, it feels very familiar by the time you've done the game.
Because you have to look at everything in it and get all these little bitty things.
Yeah, it's just such a cozy, it's a cozy place. That's all. That's all. So
Shout out to the bookshop in King's Quest 6. It's not on my list, but yours did make me think about that one. They are both pretty cool bookshops.
And yeah,
Lots to look at.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I like books and games. All right, so my number 4 is the shower in Leisure Suit Larry 3.
Man, okay.
So you get to watch Larry having a shower, but you're under him. So you're essentially below the tiles. So you're imagining that the tiles are see-through. So you're looking up into Larry's butt and under other bits. And you have to move him all over the room and use a soap on a rope, obviously, for various reasons, if you don't want to have problem. And there's a little hole in the center of the soap. So Larry, washes himself up real good. And as the game quotes, some part longer than others, because I had to watch it on YouTube to relive this scene before I could choose it for this episode. But I've never seen a scene like it. I've never seen a camera angle like it. And well done for creativity on that. A+.
Yeah, you are.
Considering how weird the gym scene was in that game, it was very awkward to tell what you had to do. The shower scene made up for it.
I had a lot of inappropriate comments I wanted to make, but because I couldn't pick one in time, the opportunity kind of passed.
Right.
A lot of it had to do with the soap on the rope and things like this, but we'll just, it's fine.
Right.
No,
Holy
it's fine,
soap
whatever.
on the
I'll
rope.
just hold it in.
Just like Larry had to.
You are so zoomed in. My next choice is, my number 4 is Frumpton. It's all of Frumpton from Willie Beamish.
Aw, I didn't even pick Willie Beamish at all. There's some great scenes in that game. Good call. I even love the first scene in that game just being in the class.
It does everything I want an adventure game to do in the sense of making it feel like this little complete world. It's like, I don't know, it's like building a ship in a bottle sort of thing, except for that's not a good metaphor at all for what I'm trying to say. This contained environment that is all expansive when you begin to explore it, and the ability to go home and explore the vastness of the house, every room, even the attic, and then you can go out and go to your tree house and say hi to your friends and leave the tree house and go down to the docks and check out the stores, and it's and then I guess the personality of it is this kind of, I don't know, it's a very cartoony world. It's like a cartoon suburb, and all the adults are kind of crooked, and all the kids are scheming, and the whole town's
and the spaghetti's all worms.
right. The whole town is one prank away from total chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of
Love it.
Frumpton.
Very good. Very, very good. I like the commercials in that, Slurm and all that.
Yeah.
All that stuff was crazy. That game had a lot of good stuff in it. If you haven't played it, or at least listen to our episode about it, and then maybe play it. It's a fun one. So my number 3, we're getting into top 3 here. Drum roll. Now my number 3, it starts out and it zooms in. So out, the Galaxy Galleria Mall in Space Quest 4 as a whole is a fucking cool environment that I absolutely love. But I want to zoom in on the bargain bin specifically for this. Now, I love things when you move things around and you get to look into the things in the things. And in
nice.
the bargain bin,
Yeah.
that's what you get to do. You get to move things around, and it's got all these games in it that are kind of like, they're fake games, but every one of them is based on games that are already in the game.
Yes, like Boom.
Yeah, Boom is there, and let's see. But the whole mall is cool. You've got Buckazoid Bill's arcade. You've got, what else? There's a Monolith Burger and a Saks and a Spaceware, and there's a lot of things going on there. I like that place a lot.
Well, where are we at? That was number 3?
Yep, that was number 3.
Okay. So specifically, though, canonically, it's the bargain bin.
It is the bargain bin canonically.
Okay. Number 3 for me is, man, this is the most zoomed out I got. Okay, but I'm gonna make it make sense. So I picked the world of Fate of Atlantis. So what I mean by that is the whole world, because you do globetrot in that game, and you travel to, what is it, Morocco, and it doesn't matter. You travel places for sure, and the reason I'm picking that is because I feel like the globe spanning aspect of this specific game captures the romance of the early 20th century. It's like there's something untapped about that specific point in time that really just Indiana Jones in general exists in. But it's like, I don't know, like Zeppelins were in the skies and ancient ruins were yet to be discovered. That's it. That's it right there.
There was so much on the horizon, like so much potential. So much was about to happen.
Right. There was still tombs to discover and treasures to I don't know how to say uncovered a different way a second time, but that again.
Yeah.
And the spirit of exploration is thank you. That was perfect. How apropos. The spirit of exploration made the world feel like a mystery waiting to be solved. And this game transports you into that time. You even see it, I mean, obviously this is Indiana Jones IP, so you see it in all of his things. Maybe even the last movie, which gross. But the movie Up covers this really well too. Like I think it's even called, isn't it called The Spirit of Adventure? In Up, it is. Yeah. And he's got a Zeppelin, and like it's just, I don't know. There's a weird parallel there. Just whatever Up was tapping into is the same spirit that I'm trying to tap into here with Fate of Atlantis. Just that exact period in time, and it makes you want to have been alive then.
Yeah, that's a good one. No, I'll accept that.
Sweet. All right, number 2.
I'm going to zoom back in again on King's Quest IV, and I'm going to zoom in specifically on sort of a duet of scenes, so to speak. So all of a sudden, you're playing the game, and you can look at the clock. If you look at the clock, it just describes the clock. But if you look at time, it'll actually tell you. And it's about 1 in-game minute per 10 real-world seconds when you're playing King's Quest IV. So the clock keeps ticking forwards all the time. And the game begins at 8 in the morning, and at 9 p.m., the scene comes up, and it says, like a heavy blanket, night enfolds you. And you've got like the moon and the trees and the sky, and you can just, something different's about to happen. And then you're standing in front of the mansion, and it's depending on the different version. Actually, you'll see more gradient or less change. Like the GOG version actually doesn't show the mansion. Like many of us would have seen it growing up as kids. It has a little bit of a different shading and a little bit less color. But when night falls, it completely changes it. You've got a different kind of dithering, and it just changes the whole feel of the game. And everything is all of a sudden just a little bit darker and a little bit spookier. I like that.
Yeah. Very good shout. Good job. I'm saying the good shout too much.
Yeah.
I thought that the last 2 times I said it. I'm like, please stop saying that.
Yeah.
And it seems that I'm not going to. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I picked the Lion Decker
Oh, yeah.
Museum because I guess I went into this thinking like, where do I want to be transported into to spend the day?
Right.
And it's like I feel immediately comfortable and cozy in these places that I'm listing. Well, maybe not necessarily universally, but I sure
You feel
want to be there.
comfortable in that museum.
Right. Yeah.
It's only because you spend like 15 in-game hours there when you're playing.
Yeah, and because I can save my game too. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
Death has little consequence. Yeah, I really like exploring Leyendecker. It's it's funny because it's not a creepy museum. The whole game being a murder mystery is interesting because like the first Laura Bow game, Colonel's Bequest, is very dark, atmospherically speaking, and that obviously lends itself naturally to a murder mystery, and lightning outside the window and lights flickering in an old creaky mansion. It's built for that, but the Leyendecker, I think, provided a different challenge for the storytelling because it's quite well lit. It's a very bright, well lit atmosphere for a murder mystery, and it's not that creepy. I mean, there is like the Egyptian artifacts which have some inherent creepiness to them, I guess you could say. I mean, just in that they're even though they're decorative, beautiful sarcophaguses, they still represent death, and they are a coffin. So there's that. And there's dinosaur bones, and in other words, there's shadows of death all around, even in like the knight's armor, you could say, in what that represented. But for the most part, it's like a well-lit museum, and it's just, I guess I'm just highlighting that was a storytelling challenge. But really, for the sake of pitching it as one of my choices, it has this, I don't know, Art Deco feel to it, this glamorous 1920s gala sort of vibe. Like, just makes you want to attend such an event, despite the attrition rate.
Yeah, despite that. I was tempted to say, spoiler, well, this whole episode is, but the scene in the first Laura Bow game where all the bodies are piled up. I love that scene. It's such a good scene. Okay. Well, my number one is Arena's Peace and Quest for Glory 1.
Nice. Wow.
And it's the music, it's the sound, it's the fact that you're safe there, it's the idea behind Arena, it's the fact that if you're a magic user, there's little things hidden there. You can use your spells and open stuff and reveal stuff that you wouldn't know about, Paul, because you haven't played it as a magic user yet.
I'm still being gatekept? What do you want from me? Man.
More. Before we do that one where you decide which one you like best, it might do you to pick a different character class and play it one more time.
Absolutely had a question. Yeah, that's for sure not going to happen. I could maybe be talked into playing the VGA remake. I'll give you that.
That's fair. Then we could do a remake comparison episode.
Oh right. Okay, now I might actually do it because
That's an episode.
It'll buy us a whole episode. Yeah.
Those aren't easy to come by here nowadays.
Right. Exactly. Everybody liked those too. The remake comparisons. I think.
I like those too. I like them too. It's hard to get us both to play a game at the same time at the same game, and I'll blame both of us to be nice, but really.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your number one?
My number one is Galaxy Galleria. If I was suspiciously quiet while you were talking about it,
you were
moving us right along. But it's, I don't know, it's okay. To describe it as if you hadn't played it, it's like a massive futuristic shopping mall drifting through space, packed with a bunch of, it's Space Quest, so like absurd takes on stores and shady characters and weird aliens. And I really like in the Galaxy Galleria how there's like, the capitalistic spirit is very much alive. And by that, what I mean is that there's like a gaudiness to it that makes it feel human and real and believable.
So of its time too, like the fashion store and everything.
Right, just that hedonistic excess of the 80s in a sense. Yeah. I guess making it so, I don't know, capitalistic in that like everything is on sale and biting for your attention and your money and certainly not in like a romanticizing or reverent sort of way, but just in a tacky human spirit sort of way that's just like, yeah, this feels believable. Like if we made it that far, we'd probably have a floating mall through space, like a.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just
clearly.
Yeah, exactly, and then of course there's the Skaterama where. Futuristic take on something you might otherwise expect to be there. And I don't know if I'd expect a roller rink in the middle of a mall, but you get the point.
In the 80s movies, it almost seems like it's a thing that is a thing that happens.
Yeah. We could gaslight everybody into thinking it was.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
for sure.
All the time.
So yeah, that's
Well done.
that's it.
I have a couple honorable mentions. I would like to say a shout out to Festerblatt's store in Space Quest 6.
Nice.
I love it. For one, it has a reference to Young Frankenstein with one of the brains is Abby Normal, which is adorable. For another, it's I used to always joke with my dad, like, oh, if you lose a body part, we'll just go pick up a new one. We'll go grab you a hand, or we'll go grab you an arm, or we'll just, if something breaks. There was this commercial when I was a kid, and it was like a robot. And he's like, I lost my arm, but if you lose your arm, it won't grow back. And it's like Astro or something. It was some computer-generated silly thing. But this always reminded me of that. I was like, it'd be so cool if you could just go and buy extra body parts and stuff. I also would like to shout out Merlin's Room in Conquest of Camelot. I know you haven't played that game yet, but it's just such a cool room. It's got the star carpet and all the little potions and bric-a-brac on the table. Again, I had to use it a third time. You know that had to happen. And the Celtic kind of marks around the outside. And then my last honorable mention is it was between this and one other scene in the game, but the end dragon fight in Quest for Glory 5, when you've got this massive epic dragon and stone dragons and this giant castle and a river of lava and all your best friends and a broken dragon pillar, and you're supposed to battle this dragon and as a group effort. And I think it's just such a cool scene. There's so many things going on all at once for it to happen.
Good shots. I think, damn it, I said it again. I'm sorry. Man, I'm hating myself for that. Good stuff instead.
Thanks,
How about
man.
that? Good words. We should do this episode again in a few months, and I'll be really zoomed in, and you'll be really zoomed out.
Right.
It'll
yeah,
be a
I'll
whole
like,
different show.
Oh man, the King's Quest 1. That place is awesome.
Yeah, I pick hyper-specific exact rooms, and
I want to live in Stardew Valley.
Um,
By the way, I don't know if you guys heard there's new marriage candidates, so you can marry Clint. Or you can marry Sandy from the desert, which is adorable. And people were saying it might be a bit of a joke on one side, but I've always thought Sandy was super duper cute. And I think Clint, once you get to know him, he's just like a big fuzzy teddy bear. He's probably got like big man hands. He can give a massage and stuff, so he'd be all right. New update coming soon.
you done?
So do you have any honorable mentions, or are you just glad this is over?
I do. The Weaver's Village, because it's just pretty in
Nice.
in Loom. I
It
don't
is
know.
pretty.
Yeah. Like, I don't feel like they have any like medical equipment or like I don't think it would be a great place to stay long term, but it would be a fun afternoon. Right, the Haunted House, Barnett College, Lytton, Rittersburg Castle from Gabriel Knight 2,
Nice.
which we insist we are going to play again and do an episode of it. Maybe we should do it this Halloween. Because I was like,
Yes.
not right now. Yeah, that'd be a good, a few months out sort of thing.
You hear that?
You hear that, you fuckers? We're going to do it again.
We're
Sorry.
going to do it again. We were just talking about it. It's a real thing. He didn't just come up with that spur of the moment. It was definitely a conversation.
Exactly. I like the Rittersburg Castle. It's just that in practice, because I don't know, I was imagining it as more fictitious and grandiose and beautiful than it was. Not that it's not cool looking. It's just like when you look up screenshots of it, you're like, oh right, this was an FMV. It's shot in like a real place, and I don't know. It stripped away some of the imagination because it's all just in video right there. But it's a Bavarian castle with old legends and packed full of, what would you say, family secrets. And
family secrets and never do tells and never do all those things.
Yes, and the feeling that something ancient is still, I don't know why I said ancient, that's unnecessary, but you get this weird feeling that something's in the surrounding forest outside.
Yeah, there's more to it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Layers. Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the last one, and this was going to be number one on my list until I remembered our last episode, and I was like, I'm just not even going to put it on the list, because it's not even technically classic, but it's Thimbleweed Park.
Nice,
Sorry,
yeah.
the town,
That's
the whole
okay.
town. I love
The
the
whole
town
town.
so much. I just want to walk
I love
around
it
there
too.
all the time.
Good call.
Except for not all the time. Maybe like 2 or 3 times a month for a very fleeting second. I'm all done.
All right. Well, thank you. And get the Phantom Fellows. Buy it for your friends. In fact, I got a lovely story that somebody did buy it for a friend of theirs and that they both enjoyed it. So thank you very much out there for people that are buying it for their friends. It's fun to bring fun to other people.
Anna showed me that specific screenshot in case the person is listening. Thank you. That absolutely made my day. That was like one of my favorite. I saved the screenshot on my phone just to have it.
So yeah, thank you for listening, and thank you to our Patreoners as well.
Yes.
Mark, in our True Believer tier, Mark, Brian, Mick, Tim, Gareth, Chapman, Christopher, Yanis, and as well to our new superfan, Adventure Game Geek. Thank you for joining us as a superfan. Really appreciate you.
It's oddly musical.
It's very musical today. And also, thank you for listening to the show. You can say hi to us. We're on Twitter.
You have got laid last night energy.
I get laid a lot. Find me on Twitter at CGG Podcast and also at Phantom Fellows. You can email us. Now, we still haven't decided and nobody's had any input, so you're still getting both. Don't do a murder at gmail.com or mail at classicgamersguild.com, or continue to find us on the various socials, which many wonderful people have been doing, and thank you to all of you. We're also on Blue Sky and Mastodon. Also, check out the phantomfellows.com. There's links to merch, right? You want to get merch, Classic Gamers Guild merch, Phantom Fellows merch. You want to get guides for the game, strategy guides. You want to get the music from the game. All of that stuff is there. So just go there and check it out. That's it. I'm done.
Nice. Don't do murder.
I mean, it is just talking about a picture, so I think we can do this.
Yeah,
Keep it compact, keep it interesting. I'll edit it. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Let's not call anybody and go from there.
I would say easy enough, but it's actually quite a
Really,
challenge.
it's like, wait, we can't talk about any people now? Okay.